is J-Rock himself. Julian, how are you, my man?
I'm good, bro. What's up? How you been?
I'm okay. I wanted to ask you first, how are you and your family doing? I know this is a rather difficult time for the entire world with this pandemic, but how have you been? Has everyone been okay and safe and everyone doing
Yeah,
all right?
everyone's good, man. Everyone seems to be healthy, so we're good.
Well, how are you now in terms of, what is your situation? You're coming off of your loss at the hands of Jason Rosario in your hometown of Philadelphia.
Mhm.
But, what is the immediate future for Julian Williams? We haven't heard, too much coming from your camp, but what is the next step for you?
Well, the next step is to get back into the ring as soon as possible. Um, I decided to go against the exercise the rematch clause because I needed to get surgery on my face because I had a lot of scar tissue under both eyes, and so instead of going, jumping right back in there and possibly developing more scar tissue, I decided to go ahead and get the surgery. So I mean that's what I decided to do. So I think I'm gonna take an interim fight and then I'll be ready to fight the winner of, from what I hear. I think Rosario and Jamel is gonna unify, fight for the undisputed championship.
So
And
you so you'll
I'm
take a
listening.
fight, in the interim, and then you want the winner of that fight.
I'm going to get the winner of that fight.
Okay, so that's already been said and decided.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yes.
terrific. And Julian, have you thought about when it comes to fighting without fans? Have you thought about that? I'm sure you've watched, some events on television,
Yeah.
but have you, how is that going to work for you?
Um, I mean, the show must go on. We can't just pause the whole sport of boxing. I mean, we got fighters that's four round fighters, 6 round fighters that need to that need to progress their careers. So fighting in front of no fans is no big deal to me. You know what I mean? I wasn't a highly touted prospect coming out of the amateurs, so I fought in front of a lot of inside of a lot of empty stadiums. You know what I mean? So it's fine with me.
Well, I know, let's go back a little bit. I want to, educate and kind of tell our viewers more about your story because a lot of what we see, is what you've done recently. The fact of, going ahead and reclaiming, going ahead and becoming a world champion against Jared Hurd. People know you from that tremendous war. And then, the fact that you were calling out guys, et cetera, et cetera. But
Right,
you had a 77, you had almost over 90 fights as an amateur, but you
yeah.
weren't on the Olympic team, anything along those lines. But, tell us about, your amateur career and also the fact that you grew up and you were bouncing around from different homeless shelters as well.
Right. Well, my amateur career I was 80-10. I never, I definitely wasn't an Olympian. I actually never even won a national tournament, but I was always at the USA Championships. I was always at the Golden Gloves. I think I was ranked as high as number 5 in the country at a point in time. I want to say back in 2007 or something like that. Um, uh, I mean, I had I would say a decent amateur career. I think I cut out a little bit too soon. You know what I mean? If I'd have stayed around, I probably could have at least. I know I'd at least made it to the trials on that what's that 2012 team. That would have been my team. But I decided to turn pro earlier because I mean I had graduated high school. You know what I mean? It was just I thought it was the right time to turn pro. But nevertheless, yeah, man. Far as how I grew up, I grew up pretty tough, but where I come from, it wasn't necessarily abnormal to grow up like I was growing up, So I was just, one of the very few that pushed through and made something good out of it. You know what I mean? And that's what I can continue to do.
What gave you the love for boxing? I mean, is it the fact that you grew up in Philadelphia in such a rich boxing city? Is that what gave you the bug? I mean, because, I think you're a terrific athlete, and I think you could have
Yeah,
probably done football, basketball,
yeah,
but,
for sure.
why did you decide to turn to boxing?
I don't think I could have went to NBA, but I definitely think I could have went to the NFL if I'd have, because I played Pop Warner Football League and I was really good. So I think if I would have kept playing And I think if I would have progressed just like how I progressed in boxing, I think I would have definitely at least at the very least got a free education at a D1 house at a D1 college. But nevertheless, I chose boxing because of the one-on-one aspect of the sport. Uh, a lot of times, 99.9% of the times, if I win, it's because of me, and if I lose, it's because of me. And I grew up fighting, man. Where I come from, you gotta. It's no way around getting into a street fight. You know what I mean? And I had probably hundreds of them. So I think I just gravitated towards boxing, and I remember the first time I stepped into a boxing ring. I just remember how I felt, man. It just made me feel different. Like I knew, like I was passionate about it. And when I played football, I played Pop Warner football. I was really good, and we even won a Pop Warner championship. But it just didn't mean nothing to me because I wasn't passionate about it. I remember winning the Pop Warner League championship, and I remember seeing some of my teammates cry, and they was crying. I'm saying to myself, why are these dudes crying? Like we just won the championship. It's like it's not that big of a deal. Like what is he
Yeah.
crying for? But he was crying because he was passionate about it, and I wasn't crying because it was just like, all right, you know what I mean? But when I start boxing, and I'm putting my all into it, and I'm going to the gym 5-6 days a week, and I'm going to sleep thinking about boxing. I'm waking up thinking about boxing. You know what I mean? It just let me know that that's what I wanted to do, and I wanted to be a champion, and I did that.
What did that moment mean to you when you captured the world title a little over a year ago in what I think is one of the most hellacious, pardon the French on that one. It was a
Yeah.
hellacious, it was a grueling fight between you and Jared Hurd. You fought him in his home area, and the fact that you went ahead and took the title away from
hmm
him in his backyard. What did that moment mean for you?
It meant everything because like I said, I've been fighting, I've been boxing since I was 12 years old, and at the time I was 29. So that's a lot of years of just hard work and dedication, and I just made my dreams come true. You know what I mean? So it's probably the best feeling I ever felt, besides having my two girls, besides my two daughters being born.
How is that like being able to? Because I know you have two young girls. You're a
hmm
proud father. Did your mindset change at all when you had them and you are a father of two young girls in terms of how you entered the ring and your approach? Because no longer are you fighting for yourself, but you're fighting for your family. Has that altered your mindset psychologically or physically in the ring?
No, not at all. Um, I think what alters is, well, I always, at least I think I've always been a responsible person. You know what I mean? So when I had kids, it's just like, okay, it's another responsibility, that I got to take on. Um, but it doesn't like alter the way I fight. Of course, they motivate me. It may alter the way I train because I know that their future is hanging in the balance of my success. So yes, in that aspect, it does alter the way I train, but not the way I fight.
Well, also, I want to, look at one thing you are very proud of is that you don't have many people around you. I read, an article that you carry your own bag to the gym. You're not one
Right,
to have, a lot of the, the hoopla and
right,
those, you're not
right,
a person that comes with 10 or 12 people. It's a very
right.
small group. But can you tell us about the relationship with you and Stephen Breadman Edwards, who I think is such a terrific trainer, and I don't think gets enough publicity about what he's been able to do in his career working alongside you.
We got a good relationship. You know what I mean? It's almost been like a big brother, little brother relationship for the past 10 years. It's taught me a lot of things that goes beyond boxing. He's a good coach. Works really hard. He's very particular. Uh, he knows how to motivate me. He's a good coach. He's done a really good job.
J Rock, what happened in your title defense against Jason Rosario in Philadelphia? I know that you're in bounce back mode, but can you tell us and dive into, what happened? I mean, I know you're not one for excuses, but was there something heading into the fight? I mean, was it that you just got caught? What happened? Do you think it was an early stoppage?
I think it was definitely early stoppage, but I'm not one to complain. I don't want to dig into what happened because, to tell the truth, Ray, don't nobody care. Don't
Okay.
nobody care what happened. So we, it's it don't matter. You know what I mean? People only care about the end of results. History is not going to say Julian Williams lost the title to Jason Rosario because X, Y, and Z. So for me, put it out there, it don't matter. You know what I mean? I'm
So you
just in the, I'm just in the. I want to get it back now, however way I can. I'm just in get back mode.
So, who could potentially be your next opponent? Have they mentioned to you about a
No,
list of names, or what about a date? Because
not yet.
we are not yet, so they
I
haven't
know
told you
because
about a date.
yeah, because everything is so backed up right now with the coronavirus and you know what I mean they want to get people who haven't fought this year. They want to get them in first, rightfully so. People got a right to make a living. You
Hmm,
know what I mean? I think I'm gonna fight before the year's out though.
okay. So I'm very curious about that. I know you've been also vocal on social media. We saw the lead up about last weekend's MMA event and stuff like that about guys being ready. I feel like you are the kind of guy that never stays out of shape. I've seen you around events and stuff when you come
Right.
out, but you're
Mhm.
always in shape. Is that the case?
Yeah, man. I've been working. I've been working. You know what I mean? Trying to keep my weight under control and trying to get better. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to let this. What we off from 6 months go to waste. That's a half a year. You know what I mean? So I want to come out of this thing better than I went in it.
What makes a fighter from Philadelphia so special and so tough? Because I feel like Danny Garcia, Tevin Farmer as well. You guys, Stephen Fulton as well, I
Mhm.
believe, from your area. You
Yep.
guys
Yes.
are kind of bringing that old school Philadelphia fighter mentality back, which is
Right.
something that I felt was lost for a few years.
What was the question again?
I said, what makes a fighter from Philadelphia so special and so tough?
You know what, man? It's hard to say because there's so many different. I mean, we all pretty much grew up the same, but it's different. You know what I mean? And I think the gym culture around here is really really tough. Uh, I didn't realize how tough it was until I went to other cities and go inside the gym and see how their gym culture is completely different than ours. So it makes me realize, like, geez, like that's why we so tough because of the gym culture. Of course, everybody, it's poverty in every inner city in America. So we can't just say it's because everybody's so hungry. That's one of the reasons, but I definitely believe it's more so the gym culture.